Hello there, this is Patricia from Pinky's World, and today we are on sketch number 9, and I've decided to twist mine. With this particular sketch, the cuts that you have will be 3 pieces, C, D and E, and this is my C, D and E. So that's all you're given to work with, and I've decided to go again with just a plain cream background. I found that positioning these, I'm also going for the long card, as you can see. So positioning your strips of paper I found, a bit iffy, so I decided to get my scoring board out and just score. The pieces of paper are 1.5 inch wide, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1.5 inches wide. So I decided to mark it out on my thing. So in my scoreboard I did 2 scores. You can see here 2 scores to start me off, and then I knew, right, I need 1.5 inches to get these between the lines. So I moved over another notch at 1.5 and marked 3 scores this time. Gave myself another 1.5 inches, marked another 3 scores, and I'm left with my one at the top, and that kept me nice and straight now, so I can go ahead and glue these in no problem. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's just a wee idea. You don't have to do that. It just helped me to keep them nice and straight without going in with a ruler and marking it. And I thought, well, it's getting a wee bit of texture while I was at it, and it's keeping me nice and straight when I'm setting them down too. So I know to go in between those 2 marks and just try and get it in the center of the card. So just a wee tip for keeping your eye line straight, if you're anything like me. So I'm also going to make this one a Christmas card. I hadn't intended to, but after I made the one the last time, I thought, these papers are pretty nice for Christmas too, because of the gold going through them and the lovely warm seasonal colours. So it doesn't always have to be icy whites and blues, sure doesn't. And not a sign of green either. So I'm going to pop this one into my last wee space. And then you can see I can just keep that nice and straight across there. And that's my 3 pieces done. So to decorate it, I wasn't sure what way to go with this at all. The sentiment's here, but I'm flipping mine, so my sentiment will be at this side. I'm not doing a shape from the sentiment. I'm going this time with those lovely dies that the word wishes, is that what you call them? Yes, word wishes dies, and you get all these words in them. And I thought to myself, well, I'll go with the cream and set it in there. But I thought the cream or the very vanilla, looked a bit lost. So what I'm going to do is emboss them. Wet emboss them. Like a crazy woman, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to do the whole word. I'm just going to do half the word, and if I don't like it, I'm going to go back in and do the other half. So just another wee idea for you to get. I had a wee scrap of paper there, but I've lost it. I'll get a sticky note. So I'm going to use the grid paper to help me keep nice and straight. I'm going to line my word up on the grid paper as best I can so that it looks kind of straight. And then I'll go in with my, goodness, this is tricky, isn't it? Go in with my sticky paper. Let's see, I'm going to set a ruler on that to keep it from shifting about. We're doing it on a piece of bent scrap paper isn't a good idea, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth the hassle. So I'm setting that there just to hold it and no more, and I'm going in with this and button it up to the ruler and sticking it in place. I haven't left enough, sure I haven't. So go back in, bring it up a bit, and then stick it back on. Don't fully stick it until you see if you're going to be happy. Yeah, that's okay. That's about the amount I would like to emboss. So your sticky should hold that hopefully in place. Go in now with your pad and just press it on, your Versamark this is. Just make sure you get plenty of that on there. And then we want to remove it. And we're just going to take it right off this without getting your fingers on it if at all possible. Hope this is worth the hassle. Of course I have my jar opened. So I'm using the gold embossing powder. I'll just get it down here. So it should stick wherever you have. See the nice crisp line, but I'm giving it a blow to get any excess. That seems fine. Now you want to get yourself a pair of tweezers to hold it. It's going to get quite hot under the heating tool, and I'll have to bring it over here because my heating tool won't reach to here. So I've done the same with the habit. I'm going to go in now with my Versamark again. Lift it off. Take that wee end, you know, hasn't got any on it. I love the nice crisp line it gives, so I'm going to go back in and emboss this one. So that's my words done. I'm pretty pleased. It looks much nicer in real life here. I am working on a dull light tonight. So I thought I'm going to need something down this corner, and what I've gone with is the lovely Poinsettia Petals, which is an older stamp, but it's still available if you fancied getting it. I've gone with these two and the smaller leaf, and I've stamped them with the Versamark again onto cream. Very vanilla. I keep calling it cream, but it's very vanilla. Stamped it onto that and embossed it with the gold embossing powder. And now I'm just going to layer them up to give it a nice lift. Just adding dimensionals. Just bunch your flower up. You could add a bit of Wink of Stella or whatever you fancied. I think I'll go with the long leaf coming into this corner. So we'll do that first so that I can work out where'd that long leaf go. This one. Yeah, I think that one there. Completely lost. Right, I want to keep it inside the card as much as possible. And then the leaves, just curl them up. Make sure they're dry after you emboss them so you don't scrape your embossing off. Put a wee dab of glue to the point. Don't put it right to the point in case you need to trim it off. Sometimes they work better just with a wee tiny bit so that it'll go inside there. I just sort of want to give it that corner look. I'm just going to clip its wings. So just bunch your wee flower up again. You can put a wee dab of yellow or whatever you want to put for your flower, and then we're going to add these. Whoops. Get rid of this embossing powder floating about. So I'll do my happy first. Just put wee dabs of glue here and there. And try and not get too sticky. And I want these at an angle rather than straight across, I think, don't I? I'm not actually sure now. I want to see it. Yeah, I think I will. Right, I want that one to fit in there. and this one just below it. So I like that wee technique. I haven't ever done just half the word before, so I may do it again. It's actually probably easier with bigger dies. I actually was afraid it wasn't going to work on this wee word die, but it did. Just took a wee bit of fiddling about. So balance that up so it's nice. I do have my eye sitting here to pop in, which I will do off camera. So I think that is fine. That is just enough there to add a wee bit of detail, and I think you get away with it being Christmas with the lovely warm colours. So I have to decorate the inside now. So I'm prepared now for my inside bit, and as you know, it lifts up this way. So I've cut 3 pieces of the exact same paper that I have used on the front, and I'm positioning them, no gaps this time. I'm just going right in there, putting that in the center, and then adding the other 2 top and bottom. Just a wee bit less of the design, but matching. Great place to use your scraps. So just sort of see where you are, center wise, down a wee bit. Come down slightly. If you get your first one right, you'll be set for the rest of them, so I'm hoping I'm not crooked. Should have used my embossing lines trick to do the inside, but too late now. So I'm just button that up against it. A wee bit over to the left, aren't I? But no matter. Only us crafters will notice that. So that gives us that nice follow through of the design, but on a smaller scale. I've cut on also another wee piece of very vanilla. I'm going to stamp my sentiment and emboss it, and might do a few flowers at the bottom. What do you think? I need another piece of scrap paper here. This embossing powder gets everywhere. Is it just me or is it everybody else? Right, in with my verse mark, I've picked the nice sentiment from that same Poinsettia Petals. I'm going to stamp it up. Hope that that's nice and clear. Keep it a wee bit to the top. In with my embossing powder. Try and get most of it back in here this time. Make a wee bit less mess. If you get a wee bit too much on you haven't used your flower bag, make sure you go in with a light brush. Just brush around the edges and it takes that away for you. So I'm going to emboss this. There we go. The magic of Christmas. So I want to do something down at the bottom, maybe a wee bit at the top, just so that it isn't so plain looking. Just scoot that over. So I think I'm actually not going to emboss, but I'm going to do these wee berries myself. This wee one here. I'll close that up and we'll just see how this looks. Should probably have embossed. I'm going to emboss it. I'm very bold. These are lovely wee berries, and you fill them in with a bit of colour, which we'll do with the rich raspberry to add that. So I'm going to pop them sort of down here. Leave that open. Excuse the mess of my Versamark, but it gets great use. It's hard to see this. That's the only thing that puts me off doing this. I'm going to fill that one in and see how it looks when the powder's on it. Not too bad at all. A few wee bold bits, so we'll just emboss this. So I'm back. I have embossed the wee bits at the bottom, which are really nice. That actually makes lovely designer paper if you give it a wee go. So I'm going to go in now with this, but I don't want the full colour. I want it a wee bit lighter, so I'm going to off stamp it and then go in. And there's a certain way that this goes, so take your time and work it out. I've twisted that stamp that much it doesn't know where it wants to go now. I think that's it. So just hover over the top of it and try and get it inside. And hope for the best. See, it just gives it that lovely wee snip of colour. That's really nice. I like it. I forgot how much I love this stamp set, you know that. So take a bit off and then line it up and see how you go. My end is sticking a bit. The embossing has curled my paper, so that's not going to work. Sure, so I'm going to give it a bend. So at least it's sitting. Ugh, I'm making right hames of this. I've actually rubbed my ink, so I'm going to redo this, the whole thing, but I'll finish this and you'll know. I'm not going to stick it down because I've made a right flipping pig's ear of it. I got a phone call from the grandkids there. Like, I'm going to go to the fireworks display tonight, and it is lashing outside, so they were a bit disappointed that I had to say no. And now I'm annoyed and I feel I should be going out in the rain with them. So there's where my head has gone. Anyway, this is going to be fixed because I wouldn't give that to anybody. I really have smeared it with my dopey hands. So that will sit there, and that'll be the inside looking just as nice as the outside when I redo it. I definitely am redoing it. So that is it. All the details of how to join in Kendra's card challenge are down below. All the links you need to click away and read all her information, watch her videos, make sure and subscribe to her because that's where she'll do the big draw at the end of this challenge. You still have till the end of December. There's 3 brilliant prizes there. $50 prizes from Pink and Main, TLC Designs and Whimsy Stamps. And anything that I have used today is listed down below as well. And I hope you'll subscribe and come back again for more madness. Catch us all again later. Bye.